Hi, folks. This is Andy Port, Planning Director. Please just bear with us for a moment. I'm just making sure that all of our members are promoted to panelist status. We had a bit of a delay this evening's meeting based on the tail end of another meeting that needed to finish first. So bear with us just a moment. Jenny, just let me know when you're ready on your end. Just tried to promote everybody to panelists.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone's just waiting, so they'll all filter in. Can you tell me who's on so far in attendance?
Hey, Jenny, it's Kristen. Oh, sorry. Hi, Andy.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi. So I actually can't see non-video participants, so I'm trying to figure that out. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I do see Rich Traster, Omni Ramo is here with us, Nancy Brock and Debbie Campbell. I'm just trying to fix my participant list here. Here we go. We have Sean Reardon and we have Andy Port with us. And I don't see Lisa Rowan yet.
Yeah, she's the only one I haven't heard from.
So I did text her the link so that she could, and I also texted Brian and I didn't hear back either.
This is Andy. If I'm not mistaken, I think Lisa was trying to get in, but because of the tail end of the other meeting, she might have gotten a message saying it hadn't started yet, so that she might be trying to get back in.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just give it a minute and see if Brian, Lisa, and Colin jump on as attendees. Yeah, you know, when people get that message, it's sort of like, oh, is the meeting happening? And you know, my phone was blowing up all over the place with that. So hopefully, I know Colin was waiting to get in and having, you know, yeah, Kristen, do you have the ability to text Colin, Brian, and Lisa?
I don't have Colin's text. I did text Brian and Lisa, but they did not respond. And I also sent an email to the whole group.
Right. Okay. Well, let me see if I can. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm trying to text him, but I can't use my voice to text because it doesn't let you when you're on Zoom.
Oh, technology wonders.
Yeah.
Are you able to text me the number and I can send him a quick text?
Actually,
can you just share his contact like from the?
Yeah, hold on. Let's see if I can do that. Just a minute. Okay, Kristen, I just texted you Colin's number.
Got it.
Let him know to go on the city website link. Because he might be trying to use a link that he was sent before or something. Okay.
Lisa said that she's
And
waiting to be promoted or waiting to be let into the meeting. Does
I
that
think
sound
there's a
right?
couple people that just popped on.
Yeah, that sounds to me as if she might be waiting for the wrong meeting. She should go by the city calendar because I don't see her in the audience, just to let you know.
Okay, let me resend.
Ugh, sorry, everybody. Not exactly how I wanted to start my last meeting as chairperson.
Andy, this link ends in
102.
102. Great. That's what I thought.
Yeah, you did provide it correctly to the commission members.
That's what I thought. Okay, sending it by text, see if that works better somehow.
While Kristen's doing that, I think what the apparent issue might be for some is that Dennis's automatic reminder email to members about the prior links that he had sent apparently went out to folks a few minutes ago. So they might have thought clicking on his link
there's
was the way
Brian.
to go.
Yeah, I think that could have happened because I did notice getting one of those reminder emails too. So that definitely could have thrown off a few members. Brian just jumped on. I just heard that.
Hello,
Hi, Brian.
how are you?
Hi, Brian.
Hi,
Good.
Lisa.
Oh, is Lisa on too?
Oh,
Oh,
I don't
no,
know.
that was me. Sorry, that was Kristen.
Oh, sorry. Hi,
Oh,
Kristen.
hi, Brian. Sorry, I'm just feverishly texting Colin also. Okay, so
Colin
I think
is actually being promoted to panelist right now.
perfect. So we're
Okay.
just missing Lisa. And
Is there anyone else in the audience?
Just the
Attendees, rather?
representatives. There's someone named Elaine, and then the representatives for the Evergreen project, Lisa, Chip, and Stephen Sawyer.
Okay, Elaine, is her last name?
there is no last name listed. It just says Elaine.
Okay, I think we could promote her to panelist. I've talked to so many people. So
Maybe we wait till
uh,
public comment, or either way, that's fine. Looks like Andy just got that covered.
Yeah, Elaine, are you with us? If you're able to unmute yourself.
Elaine is on mute.
Okay, can you hear me?
yes.
Yes, we can.
Can you see me?
We cannot.
I wonder why. Hold on. Maybe you could help me here on why you can't see me.
At the bottom left, there should be a button that says start video.
Oh, yes, I'll unmute
And if
that.
you click that, then we'll be able to see you.
I
There you are.
clicked it.
Oh,
you
no,
have-
you're gone. Do it again.
Oh,
Yep, there you go.
there I am. Hi,
Yes.
how are you? I'm Elaine Cohen. I had spoken to
Yes.
Jenny about 3 weeks ago. Hello.
Great,
That's
welcome.
right. Cohen, now I remember. Yes,
Yes.
sometimes the last name sticks, sometimes the
Right.
first name sticks, so
Right.
I
And
apologize.
I just
But thank
texted,
you so much.
I thought it was my problem not getting in. I didn't realize it was a meeting still going on. So at least I haven't Zoom for a few months because I got away from it. So you're my first re-entry again into Zoom.
I wish
Well,
that
I
I got away from
apologize
it.
that it was a little glitchy for you. It
That's
was,
okay.
a little mixed up for all of us, just sort of, I mean, sometimes, normally we have our ADA coordinator hosts the meeting, and he has that time set aside for us. but
Uh-huh.
he is out because of COVID. And so Andy Port, our planning director for the city, is hosting tonight, but he's in between hosting, two other meetings, and the last one ran over. So we apologize for the wait
Oh,
to get in.
Not a problem.
But
Right, not a
we're
problem.
just
One thing,
waiting on another. Are we still waiting on Lisa?
Maybe I just sent her the email separately outside of in a new email thread, so she can't join from her cell phone. She hopefully will be able to get in with that link. So maybe
Okay.
we should, we do have a quorum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe we should just begin.
Okay. And I'm sure
Or
she'll.
do you, it's 5:20.
Oh, geez.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think we only have till about 5:45. So we might not get through the whole agenda, and I suspect we're gonna, just table a bunch of stuff to. I'm sorry. I just got completely distracted and
That's okay. No, it's
just
fine. So we
lose my mind with that one. Oh my God.
so we have attendance and introductions, so we can go around and I'll kind of call on commission members to how about we pass it off to someone? So Jenny, you can start and then pass it off.
And Lisa just joined us, just for the record.
Yay. Okay,
Excellent.
great.
Yay. Hi, Lisa.
Lisa, breathe. Poor Lisa.
We all made it.
Technology. When it works, it's great.
It's 15 times.
Oh, poor Lisa. You're good.
think-
It's all good. We have just barely even begun to say that we were starting, so you're
I
okay.
think what the problem was is I had clicked for it to remember me from previous times. And
Oh,
once I got rid of that, it worked.
Oh, good.
But
Yeah, we all definitely,
15
and the meeting
times.
started late. It was, the TSAC meeting ran over, so Andy couldn't get us started till, just a few minutes ago anyway, but we're all here now. We really only have about 25 minutes before Andy has to stop and jump onto hosting another meeting. And so this is very bittersweet for me, hosting my last meeting. It has been over 10 and a half years now that I've been, running the Disability Commission meetings. And I just want to thank you all for all of your help over the years and your commitments. And I hope that I've inspired some of you to continue those commitments. And we'll just jump into the agenda in terms of, we'll just do a quick introduction, and then we'll jump to the vote for co-chairs, that agenda item. Because we don't have Dennis tonight, our ADA coordinator, we don't really have any updates on
So
several items anyway.
do think since we have guests in the attendee list, we should open public comment and follow the regular agenda items first.
Okay.
So we'll do the introductions, and then Andy, if that's okay with you, if you think that sounds like protocol, we do public comment first.
Sure. I would also know the mayor-elect Reardon has raised his hand from the panelist list, just so you know.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay, so then let's start with just attendees and public comment, and then we'll just do our quick introduction of who's on the commission to the new members.
Okay, and for the audience, we do have Chip Hall, Lisa Mead, counsel, and Stephen Sawyer, engineer. I believe they're all here for the Evergreen project, so I'm not sure if you intend to take that up now, but I assume they want to address that if and when you're discussing that.
Okay, sounds good. Let's just hear from Mayor-elect Sean Reardon for the moment. Thank you so much. I know his time is precious as well.
Thank you. I'll be brief. So I just wanted to wish first Jenny well on, again, I know this commission has been a labor of love of hers for the past 10 years. And so I know it's sad that she's stepping away. I think she's really put this commission in a good place. I think we have a great group on there right now. I know we have a couple more members that will be coming on in the new year. So I just wanted to say I'm excited to work with this group moving forward. And I'm even more excited I get to work with Jenny now on the city council. So again, Jenny, thank you for all your hard work. It hasn't gone unnoticed by any means. And so I'm glad you're able to take this step forward and work with the city even more. And I think we're all in a better place for it. So again, I'm excited for the work going forward. And I know you'll still be very involved with this commission, even on the city council as well.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so
We're
much,
not letting
Sean.
her
That
go.
really means a lot. Thank you.
We're not letting her off the hook at all, Sean. That's not a thing.
Thank you so much.
So
all
Jenny,
right,
do you want
well-
to go and we'll do brief introductions? Just say your name
Yep.
and who we are. We'll start with commission members first.
So I'll
So-
start. Jenny Donahue, Commission Chair, legally blind, very low vision, and brought to the commission about 10 and a half to 11 years ago. And I just want to say for those that are here in attendance as new members or interested members, this is a very organic thing that anyone can learn and get into and be passionate about. I had no background in municipal anything before I joined, so I just it's amazing what can just grow within you when you realize that you can give people a voice. So thank you all again. And Kristen, go ahead.
Hi, thanks, Jenny. So I'm Kristen Farrell. I'm the secretary for the Disability Commission, and I have been a member for maybe 8 years. I sort of have lost count.
Yeah, about that.
And I'm really happy to work with Jenny. I'm really grateful to all of Jenny's dedication and hard work and leadership. And I know that we're going to keep the ball rolling with all of the goodness that she has put in place for us. And we're not letting her off the hook, like I said. So we'll go next to Brian.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Greenberg. I've been a member on the commission for about 4 years, I think. And my day job is part-time transcriber for hard of hearing students of all ages in different parts of the United States. I provide transcriptions for them and real-time captioning, basically. And I will pass it on to Rich. You're on mute, Rich. You're on mute, yeah. And good luck, Jenny.
Thank you.
Oh dear.
Rich
Why don't I
is
go?
muted. Why don't we go to Lisa?
Sure, Lisa Rowan. I've been on the commission, I think 3 or 4 years. Really enjoyed.
Hello, can you hear me?
Ooh.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello.
there you go.
Hold that thought, Lisa. Yes, Rich, we can hear you.
Hello?
Oh, now you're frozen. Try turning your video off, Rich, and then we
Can
can
you hear
hear
me?
you. We can. Rich is on a delay. It looks like Rich might be having some internet difficulties. Lisa, you want to keep going?
Sure, Lisa Rowan. Been up with the group for about 3 or 4 years. I forget exactly how long. It's been a pleasure to work with Jenny.
You need to know what's going on.
That's a
I
delay.
hope not to miss Jenny, because I hope to continue to see her and speak with her on a regular basis. So
Can't,
anyway, Rich, we can't really hear you, but keep talking.
I think it's maybe a bandwidth issue. We've seen this before, but Rich, if you can unmute now with your video off, that might be helpful. Otherwise, maybe we'll start with our new or in process new members. Can we start with Omni, who I know hates being put on the spot and doesn't want to unmute herself, but.
Well, before we do that, why don't I just introduce Rich on his behalf?
Sure, thank you, Jenny.
Rich, if that's all right with you, just, give us a nod if you can hear us.
He's off video now, Jenny, so we don't see or hear.
Okay, he's still on the call?
He's still here,
though?
yes.
Okay, Dr. Traster is a retired.
Hello?
Oh, there
Can
you
you
are.
hear me?
Yes.
Yep,
Oh.
we got you. It's real hit or miss though. Can you hear us? Rich?
Go ahead, Jenny, keep going.
Rich is a retired family physician, and he is also hard of hearing, and has been on the commission for quite a few years now. I think probably about 6 or 7 years, Kristen. I think maybe
so,
sounds
yeah.
about right. And unfortunately, we might have him cutting in and out, and try not to let that distract you. I don't know if he can hear us. So yeah, sorry about that.
And I'm sorry, before we go to Omni, I just realized that I've neglected to acknowledge that Colin is with us also. So Colin, would you mind
Jesus.
taking over your,
okay.
announcing yourself and introducing
That's
yourself?
okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. My name is Colin Sark. I'm joined the commission about the beginning of this year, and I'm actually on the autism spectrum. So that's my connection.
Thank you so much, Colin.
Okay, now Omni, Ramo. Thank you.
I'm Omni Ramo. I work at a school for students with disabilities and have some family members with disabilities, and I'm interested in joining and helping out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Omni.
Elaine, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Elaine Cohen. I'm a resident on Plum Island, and my day job is retirement, which is quite wonderful. I want to congratulate Jenny in her new position, and certainly our new mayor-to-be. I'm thrilled about that. 8, 9, and 10 years ago, I was disabled for a while. I had 3 surgeries on 2 hips, and I had a rebuild of my thigh, and I was in a wheelchair for a number of months. And I really experienced how invisible a person can be in a challenging position. And I also have a brother now who's presently ill and is dealing with mobility issues. And I have a grandson who has dyslexia and is a special needs student. So I feel, because of my past experiences and what I'm presently dealing with in my own family, I have a sensitivity that I feel in some ways would be of interest for me to be a part of the commission. I'm considering submitting a commission letter to the mayor after a couple of meetings. And I just feel that I could contribute something also as a senior in our community and participating in a lot of our senior activities and needs. And I'm very thrilled to be at the meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining
Elaine.
us, Elaine. Yes, and even if you don't yet submit your resume, there's always committee work and volunteer work that we can task you with. So that's wonderful.
That would be great. Thank you.
Nancy Brock.
Hi, I'm a former special education teacher, and I also have I have family members with various disabilities, and I'm planning to join the commission. And Jenny, thanks so much for all the hard work that you've done and just everything that you've accomplished. It's definitely noticed and very much appreciated.
Thank you. And thank you for your interest and for coming. Thank you.
Well, great. And I think last we have Debbie Campbell.
Hi, I'm Debbie Campbell. I'm presently working full-time in a vocational school as a secretary. I am looking forward to joining Elaine in retirement in about another year or so. But I also have an extensive background in disabilities and many family members who are involved. So I'm looking forward to joining the commission.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we have our fearless host here, Andy Port, who is with us in the interim time while Dennis is out, as Jenny mentioned. So I think if we move on to public comment, if any of the attendees are interested in public comment, or Andy, do you think we should defer that to old business when we get to Evergreen? I do see that Counselor
in either
Mead has
way-
her hand up. Okay,
Yeah, and either way, I just note that it looks like all three attendees are here for the same item, Evergreen, and I assume they're just waiting for that when you want to take it up.
Jenny, I guess I'll let you make that call.
Okay, what time is it?
5:35.
Okay, we got about 10 minutes. All right, can we just quickly take care of the most important piece of business real quick? I don't think there's any real big conversation for it. And that would be the vote we need to take so that you guys can meet in January. So before us, we have elected Kristen Farrell and Lisa Rowan have volunteered to be elected to co-chair position. I would make a motion to vote yay or nay.
Maybe just to
on
correct the record, I believe that the titles will be interim co-chairs.
interim co-chairs. Yes,
Just
okay,
for
let's be
semantics
clear about
reasons.
that. Interim co-chairs on the record. So again, we'll do a roll call vote. Yes or no on electing interim co-chairs, Kristen Farrell and Lisa Rowan. So we will start the roll call vote with Kristen.
Am I allowed to vote?
That's a good question.
Andy, do
But
you know?
You certainly are eligible to vote for your own nomination if that's the question.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we
Thank
supposed
you.
to be? Okay.
Honestly, Andy, this is never
Kristen, I'll let you know, I voted for
happened
myself this past November.
Good
so.
point, good point, good
before.
point.
And
All
that's
right,
right, I
thank you,
voted for
Sean, that's
myself
fair. Okay, yes.
Colin,
Yay.
Rich,
Rich gave a hands up and a nod.
excellent,
That's a visual
okay.
description of the affirmative.
Okay. Brian,
Yes.
and Lisa.
Yes.
And I am myself a very bittersweet but wholehearted yes. And thank you, ladies, both for stepping up interimly so that we can continue the work that we've all been so invested in. Okay, so that settles that matter then. Yes. And
Yes, I
so that
believe
will
that it
take
does.
effect at our first meeting of the new year in January, second Thursday of the month.
January
and
13th.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Great, okay. So we'll just jump right to the, let's just jump right to the Evergreen.
So I have a pretty extensive update from Dennis that I can
Yes.
share briefly to not go into too much detail.
If you
But
could give everyone the rundown, just real
just
quick.
for the
of
highlight reel, sorry, it
Yep.
just went away on my phone. So I'm trying to get it back. Here it is.
You're sharing a map on the screen.
Sorry, Kristen, I just put up for context the plan for the Evergreen project. I know that that's the site layout that Dennis has been looking at with the developer.
Excellent, thank you. So Dennis has spoken with Mr. William Joyce, who is the Massachusetts AAB director. AAB is Architectural Access Board, and the MAAB is in charge of all things accessibility related when it comes to the building code. Mr. Joyce has explained that since the trails have a prepared surface and they were modified during construction, and they were also not in existence before construction happened, that they are considered maintainable and maintained, and they are trails behind the property in that light tan portion of the map, and also between the homes accessing entrances onto the trails, that they fall under walkways, actual walkways, not trails. And the clarification is that the state categorizes trails with prepared surfaces as walkways. There are other apparent municipalities that have run into similar issues as this. So the current situation is that the developer has two options. Option one is to go for a variance via the MAAB for all trails out of compliance, which includes the small playground on the property. And option number two is that all trails must, if there's not a variance, all trails must comply with CMR 521, 19, and 22, walkways and recreational facilities. And he linked the building code, which we don't need to read and develop in at length. Apparently there's one small slight issue of standing water in one of the access ramps, which the contractor is already addressing. And Dennis apologized for not being in the office this week and just said that otherwise things have been pretty quiet for December so far. So I think given that, we know that as a volunteer commission, we do not have authority. However, if the developer does approach the MAAB for a variance, then we would have an advisory position, whether we advise to accept the granting of a variance or that we oppose that variance. We're not in a position right now to determine that or discuss that, because that is not the case. But I would like to invite the guests, Mr. Hall and Attorney Mead and Mr. Sawyer, if there are comments that you guys would like to have the floor. Unless, I'm sorry, Attorney Mead, unless there are other questions from any other commission members for clarification purposes.
Just real quick, Counselor Shand isn't on the meeting, is she?
She is not.
Okay, I should have tried to reach out to her, but I didn't get the chance to. No, you covered it all, but any commission members that might have any questions before we open it up to the public comment?
Don't see any hands. No electronic hands, no physical hands. Okay, so take it away, Attorney Mead. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much, the chair. Congratulations on your election, and thank you for all your work on the commission. It's been fabulous, and welcome aboard, Mayor-elect Reardon, and congratulations to the new co-chairs. I'm turning it over to Steve because we weren't able to get in touch with Dennis today. Steve Sawyer, who's been the civil engineer on this project, had a conversation with William Joyce today, in addition to some other work we've been doing. And I think Steve is going to tell you, we believe that we are in compliance, except for two areas that we need to add signage to, but I'm going to turn it over to Steve at this point.
Good evening, Steve. Sorry, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
We can, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, so I was made aware, originally with the initial design, these were all designed to be walking trails. And unfortunately, since we prepared it and I surfaced, it may have dragged us into a little more of confusion than what we anticipated. So at the beginning, these were not, we weren't anticipating these to be ADA compliant, that they'd be a walking trail. As we got into the project, we were informed as part of the CMR 19 that the tot lot, being a playground, required access. So we did actually modify the trails to provide compliant slopes in two separate routes to the tot lot. So with that, we felt we were in compliance. But what happens is there's two additional routes out to the area that are over the 5% running slope. I still disagree. I'm not sure where it points to the fact that any improved surface is a pathway and not a trail. I have a different interpretation of that. that I feel we should be held to the trail, basically the Forest Service outdoor recreation accessibility guidelines versus the state CMR. I do agree that the CMR applies to the access routes, the accessible routes to the playground, which we did meet. So in order to actually make those two small segments accessible, there'd be extensive excavation onto neighbors' properties, which would not be acceptable. You'd basically create some unsightable canyons running between in two locations between homes. I think what we've come to a conclusion is, okay, we don't need these to be accepted. We already have provided a route. I think in speaking with Lisa and Chip is we're just going to provide signage saying these are for maintenance access only and not for a pedestrian route. I think we feel that would meet the requirement. I don't know, Lisa, if you'd like to follow up or if I have forgotten anything.
No,
I think brief.
Yep, I think that's it. And we had a lot of this conversation last time, and which is what led to Dennis reaching out to William Joyce. And I think that a number of the members agreed that it was accessible and we needed to meet the guidelines and not the regulation. It's notable in the email from Dennis, who has been very helpful, notwithstanding his absence, that in fact, the regulations haven't changed yet to make this clear, so to speak. So while it is the attempt of the AAB to kind of make this transformation, they haven't actually done it. Notwithstanding that, we do have accessible routes to the playground. The playground in and of itself is accessible. We confirmed that again with the playground contractor and the installer and the mat provider and installer. And we've provided all that information to Dennis as well. So we believe that the trails and the playground are all accessible and will address the two routes that are not by making them maintenance access only. And we believe then that the facility will become, there won't be any question about its compliance.
Attorney Mead or Mr. Sawyer, are you a part of one of the other descriptions that I believe that I was forwarded? Mentioned some other litigation in municipalities that have had a similar situation. I mean, ultimately, we can agree with you all day long, but the state has the authority.
Right.
I think that's the concern, that the previous resident who brought this all to our attention, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, his pretty serious concern was of the future potential for litigation. I'm not sure your thoughts on that.
Sure. So, I saw that email from Dennis that said there was a city somewhere that had this issue, right, with no identifier at all. So we have spent the last 36 hours or whenever it was that we received that email from Dennis trying to find that conflict.
Okay.
And
Okay.
We can't find it anywhere. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist because obviously Mr. Joyce mentioned it, right? But we can't, certainly no reported litigation, and we couldn't find anything pending. So I'm not sure it was just an enforcement issue that they had, that there was this conflict. Dennis again refers to other municipalities. But again, even if we, and we talked about this with Mr. Brown also, if we limit the access on the two trails, and Andy, if you could, I don't know if you can move your cursor on the two interim trails that I'm talking about that run like off the middle of Duffy and then down off the circle. There's one right there, and then there's one up longer between lot 20 and 21 up right. So if we limit access on those, then to maintenance only, then there's no question we think that about accessibility here, and we would say, that's where we are on it. Certainly the playground is accessible. I don't think anybody that there's access off of Brown Avenue, and Kristen, you said this last time, access off of Brown Avenue is flat.
Mhm.
And then access off of Duffy now, we actually had an amendment with the planning board to make that make that meet the appropriate grade.
Actually, Lisa, you'd mentioned Brown.
Oh, Boyd, sorry. Steve, you cut out, I think.
Yep, I heard that cut out.
I think he may have lost audio. He's not muted.
Oh,
You keep cutting out, Steve.
no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, what you had mentioned off of Brown was flat. It was actually the end of Boyd is where it's
Yeah, I
flat.
apologize. I'm
Yeah.
employed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My
So I think from our perspective, I don't know that there's anything more that we are able to do. My concern would be that Mr. Joyce is the one who makes those decisions. Mr. Joyce is the entity of which provides variances. So if he's saying that variances need to be filed, I don't know how you want to handle that. I don't know that that's certainly not our purview.
Right.
I think between the two options that Dennis kind of outlined in the email recap. So I don't know how else we can be helpful.
Well, I think we're ready to move along. I mean, it's notable, of course, that Mr. Brown has never been to the site. So
Mr. Joyce.
I mean, Mr. Joyce, sorry, Mr.
Right.
Brown. lives
Mr.
there.
Brown lives there.
Mr. Brown lives there.
Right.
It's off of Boyd Drive.
Right.
So Mr. Joyce has never been to the site. So, you know, I think that my client, based upon his professional advice, once those two signs are installed, believes that the open space is in compliance.
Yeah, I mean, if I may, it does sound like, you know, by sort of eliminating the two sort of, you know, paths in question that really, you know, would take all that excavation and, you know, cutting into the other properties and things like that. I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone expects that to be the outcome. But if making those maintenance only solves the problem, I think it kind of takes it off of our table anyway. Like, I mean, I think that, as Kristen pointed out, I mean, unless the developer for any reason seeks a variance with the AAB, I think our involvement is at this point a bit null, if that makes sense.
I think I can speak for us to say that we appreciate the input and the perspective and the information. And certainly we want to be supportive and insofar as we are able, and we want it to be accessible. And I would argue that it is. I mean, it's a lovely area. It's quite flat. It's well maintained. The Mr. Brown, the resident who spoke at our last meeting, had other concerns about, you know, once it was all signed off as completed, but since we've already hashed those out, I don't think we need to get back into that again. Does anyone have any additional comment from Attorney Mead or Mr. Hall or Mr. Sawyer, or are there any other follow-up questions from any existing members or future members? Or any other questions? I don't see any.
I think
Okay. I might maybe just.
Oh, sorry, Nancy Brock has her hand up electronically.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I may have missed this, but I'm just not exactly sure. Have we come to a conclusion or decision, or is it just sort of?
There really isn't a position that we are needing to conclude.
Okay.
I think that it's on the onus of the developer to follow
I think that's
the advice of the AAB, and it seems that has occurred. And if Mr. Joyce, who's the head of the AAB, the executive director, if he's in opposition to that point, I think that doesn't involve us until a variance is filed, and then we're in question about whether we support or oppose.
So, and I think that's more what I meant to say was, I couldn't tell from what the attorney said is if they were planning to file that or not. Or is that up to them to?
It doesn't sound like they have plans to file for a variance, because it sounds like what they're going to do is just make the two pathways in question not accessible to the public and have them be maintenance only, which would then nullify the need to seek a variance.
Okay.
So I think correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Mead, that's the route that your client would be taking, not
You
planning to
nailed-
seek a
yep.
variance from,
You
the
nailed it
AAB?
right on the head.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
And so does
right,
that
so-
address Mr. Brown's
I'm s-
concern?
I don't believe that it does based on our last meeting, but Mr. Brown is not here, and in his absence, I don't want to speak for him.
Okay.
But he had several pages of concerns. Again, he's a resident in that community, in that neighborhood. So, and he also is experienced in working with the AAB. So he had other concerns about potential litigation and that the city and or neighborhood being at risk. But I don't know that also does not involve us as far as a decision one way or the other.
I see.
I would just offer that if they are maintenance only, then that minimizes or eliminates liability risk.
Right.
Agreed.
Yep. All right, then I would motion that we receive and file this matter.
Great. Second.
Okay, why don't we just, yeah, we do have to do roll call because we're remote.
Do we have to roll call even to receive and
Kristen?
file? Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes.
Yes, roll call to receive and file, yes.
Okay.
Kristen,
Yes.
Colin,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes,
Brian,
Yes.
Rich,
Affirmative. Yes.
and I am a yes. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, and what do we have for time?
It is 5:56.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry, Andy. Okay,
No, it's
I think,
quite all right. Thank you.
are you hosting the NYS meeting?
No, I'm not, but I am expected to go to the senior center. Thank you.
Okay, gotcha. And I got to jump on the meeting on Zoom anyway. So, all right, then if there's nothing else, I would motion to adjourn our last meeting of 2021. I thank you all so very much. I will see you all in the new year, but just not as chairperson. So can I get a second?
I second that. Jenny?
Thank you. Lisa says
Ready to
yes.
adjourn.
Kristen,
Yes.
Colin,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Rich.
Rich is giving a thumbs up. Yes.
Well said,
All right,
Rich.
so I got everybody. And I'm a yes. And thank you to all the guests. Thank you to Mayor-elect Reardon. I'm not sure if he jumped off yet, but
I'm here.
Thank
He's
you,
here.
everybody.
Thanks again, Jenny.
Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate it.
Good luck to you, Mayor.
Thank you, everyone.
All right,
Happy
everybody
hol-
have a
happy
great holiday
holidays.
season.
Happy holidays.
to everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye.
We'll see you all in
Bye,
the
everyone.
22. All
Bye-bye.
right.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Andy.
Thank you.